In the years after World War II, America's leaders feared a surprise attack from our Cold War adversary, the Soviet Union. With the advent of intercontinental ballistic missiles in the late 1950s, Soviet nuclear weapons could reach and destroy American cities in only 30 minutes. The need to know what was going on inside the Soviet Union grew urgent. This photograph of a Soviet bomber base was taken in 1966 by a satellite orbiting the Earth at 17,000 miles per hour. At a time when the communist world remained cloaked in secrecy, American reconnaissance satellites were passing silently overhead, gathering vital information on the Soviet military and its weaponry, and guarding against a surprise attack. In early efforts to pry loose Soviet secrets, the United States sent balloons and reconnaissance aircraft over the Soviet Union. When a U-2 spy plane was shot down by the Soviets in May 1960, America's glimpse of enemy territory suddenly went dark. Fortunately, an alternative to the spy plane was already in preparation, the result of years of planning and effort. In 1958, President Eisenhower instructed the Central Intelligence Agency and the Air Force to jointly oversee the development of a photo reconnaissance satellite. Initially operating under the cover name Discoverer, the satellite was said to be part of a biomedical research program. But the real mission of the top-secret Corona project was intelligence. Launched by a Thor booster, Corona satellites would fly in an orbit about 100 miles high around the Earth's poles, photographing intelligence targets below. The exposed film was ejected from the satellite in a capsule. The capsule would then be snatched in mid-air over the Pacific Ocean and flown to processing facilities. Thousands of people worked in utmost secrecy and under tight deadlines to transform this idea into reality, overcoming many difficult technical problems along the way. Lockheed Missiles and Space Division, High-Tech Corporation, General Electric, and Eastman Kodak were the major contractors for the Corona spacecraft and camera. The entire program was overseen by a new and top-secret agency based in the Pentagon, the National Reconnaissance Office.
3, 2, 1.
At first, the program seemed plagued by misfortune. But after 12 consecutive failures, the capsule of the 13th Discoverer mission became the first object ever recovered from orbit. A week later, on August 18, 1960, Discoverer 14 returned the first spy photographs of the Soviet Union taken from space. Less than 4 months after the U-2 had been shot down, the United States now had a secret eye in space that could peer behind the Iron Curtain. The first pictures taken by the Corona camera were fuzzy and showed little detail. In this early photograph of the Mishmidta airfield in the Soviet Arctic, no object smaller than 40 feet across was recognizable. But in just over a year, resolution had improved to 12 feet. Later improvements included adding more film and a second camera for stereo imaging. With one camera looking forward and one looking back, the objects in the photographs could be viewed in 3 dimensions. By the time the Corona program ended in 1972, it was possible to see a line of visitors to Lenin's tomb in Red Square. By providing hard evidence that the Soviet Union had no decisive advantage in nuclear weapons and was not preparing a sneak attack, satellite imagery proved invaluable to America's leaders. years after the first successful mission, reconnaissance satellites helped to lessen Cold War tensions and helped achieve, in the early 1990s, a reduction in the nuclear arsenals of both sides. Today's reconnaissance satellites no longer return capsules of film from space, but rely upon electronic technology to transmit detailed images directly from orbit, allowing rapid analysis of a developing threat. In ways that not even Corona's visionaries could have imagined, satellite reconnaissance is now used to dispel fears, warn of danger, and help keep the peace. From the ultimate vantage point of space.